Hi, I'm Natalie Lemus, and this is your practical and useful lessons for leadership, business, and life. The action.
Remember, okay, so there's like this theme of crazy things happening, and one thing that happened, Ugo and I went out and we had this idea, and we were like, okay, we're gonna make a marriage vlog, and we're gonna make this marriage YouTube channel, and we went out to this by the river in Boise, and Ugo has the camera set up, and he's behind the camera, and I'm, setting up like where we're supposed to be. Like the minute I get into camera focus, a wasp flies out of nowhere and stings me in the neck. Like immediately, like bzz, boom. And I like dropped to the floor. Ugo didn't know what was happening. He's like, what's wrong? And I was like, get me mud. Because my mom said, well, when I was a kid, I got stung, and we grabbed mud and we put it on my neck. So then he grabbed like all this mud from the river and he put it all on my neck. And that was the end of our career as starting a channel until now, my friends, until now. Isn't that funny? The bee, it really deterred me. So what do I wish people knew about me? Is that I don't give up. Even when bees come out of nowhere and they sting me in the neck. Even when, I've been fired. Oh, guess what? Have you been fired from a job? I have. I was actually fired from my first job ever. It's the summer before my senior year of high school, and they sat me down and they said, okay, Natalie, you know the contract. Car doesn't move unless you have a summer job. And I thought, okay, I'm gonna get a summer job. Like, where am I gonna work? Well, I only wanted to work at nice places. I applied at Abercrombie, didn't get the job. I applied at, what's that other one that's like kind of like Abercrombie? Oh man, not the Buckle. Hollister, that one. I applied at Hollister, didn't get the job. I applied at American Eagle, didn't get the job. I applied at this bougie coffee shop where I was like, oh, my friends, if they saw me working here, they'd think I was balla. Didn't get the job. I applied at this really fancy restaurant, didn't get the job. So, and all the while, my car can't move from the driveway, and I wanted to chill with my friends. It's the summer. So I'm like, okay, I'm never gonna give up. I'm gonna be fine. I'm gonna find something. So I go into this used clothing store, kind of like a nicer version of a Salvation Army. So I show up, I interview, and I get the job finally. And there were other jobs I didn't get, I just didn't mention them all. I probably didn't get about 15 jobs. Anyway, so I finally get this job. And I'm really excited, and it's my first day, and I'm getting ready in the morning. Now, I had been trained from a very young age that your nails had to be groomed, not necessarily painted, groomed. And so I look down at my nails and I'm like, oh, my nails look jacked up. I'm going to fix my nails. So I start painting my nails. Now, painting your nails 30 minutes before you have to be somewhere, it's just not the brightest idea. And I don't know, I didn't care. So I painted my nails and I got lost on the way there and I ran out of gas. Yeah, I ran out of gas. I call my mom and I'm like, I barely have any gas left. I'm about to run out. What do? I'm gonna be late. And she's like, well, you have two choices. Like, don't make it to your first day at all because you'll completely run out, or get gas. So I pull into the next thing. I only had $3 in my pocket. I put $3 worth of gas in there. So I roll in 15 minutes late, and my mindset, I'm thinking like, they need help. Like, this is gonna be fine. It's just 15 minutes. I could tell her that I got lost. I could tell her, that I ran out of gas is all truth. I'm not gonna tell her that I painted my nails. However, she could probably tell they looked really nice. And she immediately says, you're fired. You're unreliable and I can't work with you. And this is it. Your first day is your last day. Goodbye. And I pleaded with her and I said, you don't understand. I was late. I was this, da, 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 da. And she's like, no, you're fired. Seriously, you're fired. I can't work with you. I mean, I felt like a deflated balloon, and I was embarrassed, and I felt shame, and I was about to beat myself up and say, like, how could you have, and all this stuff. And then something just snapped. Something snapped in me, and I made a vow to myself. I was 17, and I said, I will never work for someone else. When I'm old enough, I'll be able to make my own rules. I'll be able to run my own company where I can come in whenever I want. I didn't know that, you'd have a lot more responsibility too. However, that was like the snapping point for me. So when I think about what I want people to know, it's about my tenacity. My tenacity, never giving up. Did you know that most salespeople, oh, and by the way, you're all in sales. We're all selling something. Whether you want a date, a job, a promotion, a new client, we're all selling something. And so most salespeople give up after the first ask. And did you know that most sales happen after the 7th ask? When I found that out, I thought to myself, well, if no one else is asking 7 times, I sure am heck am not gonna be like everybody else. I'm gonna ask no matter what it takes to get to the end result. Because why? Because I genuinely know that our companies can help people. So that's what I want you to be thinking. How many times are you willing to ask because you genuinely know and believe in your product or service? How many times is worth it to you? Would you ever give up if you truly believed in your product or service? Would you ever stop asking? No, you wouldn't. If you really thought that you could help someone, would you stop asking? No, you wouldn't. That's one thing, is the tenacity. The second thing is rehearsal. Physically, in my car, as I'm driving to every appointment, I do it to this day, I think, what are they gonna ask me? How am I gonna respond? What is it that I want them to know about me during the appointment that they're not going to ask? Before I walk into a conference room, before I get on a phone call, before I meet a client face-to-face, before I have a lunch meeting with a prospective client, before I have any type of business interaction, before I interview a new hire, when I go out to put a post up for a new hire, I think questions. Okay, what do I want this person to know about me? What do I want them to know about our business? What questions could they potentially ask? What are things that they won't ask that I should bring up? What do I believe their values are, and how can I communicate that would be in alignment with their values? Because people make decisions based on their values, not yours. So I never go in with thinking, oh, I'm just gonna talk all about me, my values, what we do, our team, blah, 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 blah. Nobody cares. If, have you ever heard that saying, like, people don't care how much you know until they know how much you care? So I get into their head. What's their biggest struggle right now? How can I help them? What are they most afraid of? How can we help that? What is keeping them up at night? And how can we serve that? It's mental rehearsal, and I say it out loud. As I'm driving there, right before, I say it out loud and I practice and I hear how is it gonna sound? So that when I'm in front of people, I'm not practicing on my clients. I'm not practicing when I'm in front and when it's go time. I've already rehearsed. And I'd say rehearsal and tenacity are the top 2 things that I wish that people, I wish I could just wear a shirt and say, what you're seeing is the result of rehearsal and tenacity. What would your shirt say? What would your shirt say? Because here's the thing, we only see what we see. We don't see everything that went behind what we see. There have been some days where I've gone out into my car and I've cried. And I've thought, I'm not good enough, I'll never be enough, I can't do this. And I've had major doubt and dark days. Yet it's the tenacity to just get up and keep going. One day I was in my car and I was having one of those days where I thought, oh, I'm never gonna be able to do this, and I'm not good enough, and I don't know enough, and I'm too young. And all of a sudden it was like a movie scene where this, genie pops out of a lamp, and this genie happened to be my mom. And I see her pop out into this vision, and she's in the passenger seat of my car, and she turns to me and she says, and remember, this is in my head, she turns to me and she said, Natalie, did you think you weren't gonna have any challenges? Did you think that everything was just gonna poof like a freaking magic wand? No, get up, never stop, be tenacious. What would your shirt say? What you're seeing is the result of blank and blank. Ooh, let me know, I'm so curious. Let me know down below, tell me what your shirt would say. Let's make a clothing line, wouldn't that be fun? Let's do it. Let me know, share this video. I wanna know what are the top 2 things that are the recipes to what I see in you. Sweet, can't wait to see you guys next time. Bye.